everyone, and welcome to Spill the RT. I'm Eamon Shanahan, and I'm with Josh Stein, as always, and we are starting episode 91, and we've got some subscribe buttons happening already.
It's always good to see. It saves the bother later.
Well, there you go, folks. We hit it right at the start. Like, share, subscribe.
Now it's done. It's over.
It's done. We don't need to do that again. See, we're so efficient now that we're in our 91st episode, Josh. It's like we don't have to think about it anymore.
I was thinking about this morning. It really is. It's like an assembly line. It's like, oh, it's Tuesday again. I blink. It's Tuesday again.
It comes around so quick, doesn't it? It's like you blink, exactly that. You blink, and before you know it, I'm prepping for the fucking next episode. It's like, oh my goodness, there's so much art to talk about.
It's a good thing that the world just keeps on churning, so we always have new things to be amused by. And I have a few things this week I think that we will find quite amusing. I found you some good shit, I think.
Okay, right. Give us the lowdown. Give us the LD, as they say.
So this week, pepper spraying drones in schools. I'm not making that one up. AI lawsuits from artists. From 1-star reviews to virality. Artist sues Instagram for censorship and a free font that poisons AI. All that and a brand new guest are up next as we spill the art tea. Welcome to episode 91.
91. Ooh. Oh, wow, you're getting too little. That's like a little bit prepared for like Halloween. We still have a few more months before Halloween, Josh.
Welcome to episode. What would it be? XCI.
XCI, or we're in Roman numerals now.
Yep.
That's a lot of Roman numerals.
Well, I think the average person probably doesn't even understand what XCI is.
Well, I don't know. Millennials like to be a little bit, fab. So maybe that's why.
I think they would think it's a stock option thing.
Okay. I think we should bring on our guest. Are you ready? Let's do it. Let's bring her down. It's all the way from Las Vegas. It's April. Hi,
hey, what's
April.
up, everybody? Hi, and Josh, before you told me what 91 was in Roman numerals, I had no clue. I failed that part of math. So there we go.
I was being kind. I knew with a fellow American on that the likelihood it was going to be quite high, but I said,
oh, I'm terrible with math. My 7-year-old niece threatened to beat me up with math, Eamon, and she was serious, and I was scared.
Oh, no. April, you're our first guest from Las Vegas. So I've never been to Las Vegas, but I really want to go just for the shits and giggles.
You should come. Seriously, you would love it. Where in Ireland are you?
I'm not. I'm in London, but I am from Ireland, from the Midlands. So
you're from the Midlands. Well, it's very different from the Midlands. It's very different from London. Vegas is its own world. It's so great. They can see it from the moon. What would an Irish grandmother say about that? And Nan would have something to say.
I don't think my Irish grandmothers or any of them would be anyway interested in traveling to Las Vegas.
What do they say? I'm part Irish. What is it? If you jumped off a bridge, would you, or what do they say? Like, yeah, Irish, that's what I love about my Irish family members. They're very blunt.
Yeah, we kind of like to say what's on the tip of the tongue.
Yes, blunt and dismissive, but very calm about it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. You look lovely today with a very discerning face. Anywho, thank you for representing the culture of Las Vegas today. And we will speak to April about all the things that you get up to very soon. And I feel like we are getting a few surprises from you throughout these episodes. So make sure you stay tuned, folks, because there may be something that appears as we go through the episode.
Sure. I have some friends coming and they have a lot to say and they are ready to meet you too.
Amazing. Well, Josh, let's get on with our first story. Where are we headed to first?
Off we go to Florida, Georgia, and Colorado.
Oh.
Or not. So, how in the U.S. we have this epidemic of school shootings. Been going on now for several decades. So they have now come up with the solution. And the solution is drones armed with pepper spray that will come flying down out of ports built into the ceiling of schools. Will pepper spray the shooter and stop the shooting.
Okay. So it's quite humane, isn't it?
I'm just putting that out there, and then I'm stepping back because
So it's not going to kill the person who's going to try and kill
Well,
all of the children.
in
It's just going to deter them.
this incarnation, no, it's not going to be armed with lethal weaponry, but
Okay.
but it
Well,
certainly could be, couldn't it?
what do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah.
What do I think? Well, I was actually the Columbine generation, and I'm disappointed that school shootings still happen. I just want to start by saying that.
Mm.
And I just want to start by saying that I think it's disappointing that we haven't solved it. And I think it's good in theory, but is the drone going to get the right person, or is it going to get everybody but the shooter? Because everybody has these big dreams about technology, and then it just kind of shits the bed.
Well, I wonder, is it going to be monitored though? Is it going to be a situation where it's like you have a remote recording of like what they see, and so they could obviously point and shoot?
I suspect that this will be deployed two different ways, depending on how much money a particular school system has. It will be much more expensive to have a live operator and much cheaper to have AI in control of the drone.
And here's the thing, AI is good, but people forget that it's technology and we tell it what to do. And so it's like, on one hand, I am glad that something like this is happening. But on the other hand, it's like, again, it might accidentally spray the security guard in the face, or a shooter might find a way around it. Like, you forget, these are angry kids that dream of this. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm crossing my fingers and hoping for the best, but I'm cautiously optimistic. Does that make sense?
It does.
The deployment's not going to stop in schools.
No.
Picture this in a bunch of casinos, only not armed with pepper spray, but armed with, say, submachine guns.
Oh, dear.
You just have to bring it to the next level. It just had to go to the next level.
Well, you forget, in America, we love our guns. So, of course.
To me, this is like RoboCop combined with Terminator, combined with PlayStation. And what you get is just this hellscape of just floating gunships while I stay inside my armored
Listen, I had two straight male roommates, RoboCop, Terminator, Scarface. That was family viewing in our house. So they'd be all about this. I mean, they would be all about this technology. They, not that they could get girlfriends, but they would be all about this technology.
So, you mentioned something there a minute ago, Josh. So you said that there was it's the schools that provide this. Is it so it's not being done by like any level of like governing body, like a police station or something?
Well, yeah. I mean, yes and no. You have to remember that in the United States schools, most schools have armed security guards.
Yeah.
So there already are what are called CSOs, community service officers, that are on site. This replaces the human in that, right?
Oh my.
And obviously, it's like what happens again and again, right? There's a delay between when the shooting begins and when the human who's supposed to be stopping said shooting shows up. Whereas a drone like this, that's say slave to AI, deploys literally within seconds and does its thing. And
actually, that might be better. I don't know when you graduated, Josh, but when I was in school, we had the school security, and they were a joke. Okay, school security was a joke. All right, these were like rent-a-cops. Do you guys have rent-a-cops in England?
No. We don't have any level of security. We've got what we call caretakers who just clean up. We don't need the guns men.
Okay, well, Josh will tell you about rent-a-cops. Okay, these are guys that want to be in law enforcement that it just didn't quite happen. And so those are the guys that end up in school security. And we had one chick that was like our rent-a-cop when I went to school. And she was like always running after girls, screaming at them for not having a hall pass, writing them up for having short skirts. But when there was an actual threat, she was AWOL. She was scared for her life. And I'm like, this is not who I want protecting me. So if it's the drone, I want the drone. Okay. I want the drone for America. I'm just saying.
It just signals what is always talked about as it's called the escalatory ladder, right? Instead of removing the root cause, which is the weapons that are causing this in the first place, right? Instead, what we're doing is just adding layers onto it that don't.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we need gun control more than anything in the United States. It's like guns don't kill people, people kill people, but it seems like guns are doing a lot of damage. Call me old fashioned.
Yeah, Amo, there's just so you know, Amo, there's like 400 million guns in the US and there's 340 million people, right? And so and half of them are children. So they're not eligible to be owning it anyway. So
no, and what makes it worse is my sister's actually a champion marksman. And I grew up around guns. And one thing about guns is gun safety is number one. A lot of gun injuries come from people that don't know how to use them, don't know how to clean them.
Fair.
And Skipper's an emergency room doctor right now, and she does presentations on gun safety. And so we have this culture where everybody gets a gun, but nobody knows how to respect it. And the first rule of having a gun is you need to respect life. And we don't respect life in the United States. We respect the unborn. Okay. But as soon as that kid's old enough to go to school, we don't care. They're on their own.
Okay. Well, that is a lot to think about. So I think we'll put a little pin on that and move on to our next story.
I know. It got deep. It got deep.
So I have a theme that's continuing on here.
Oh no.
So no. Not that kind of thing. No.
Okay, go on.
So everybody knows, right? One of the reasons that the chatbots, the LLM stuff, the video creation, the mid journeys, right? The reason that they've taken off and been able to be as successful as they have is because they've been trained on huge amounts of material called a corpus, right? A body of material. And so now a number of lawsuits, particularly in the US, it takes forever for a lawsuit. It takes years. So some of the lawsuits that we're talking about have been going on now for like 7 or 8 years.
Oh yeah, they go on forever. I don't know how it is in London, but I actually worked for my dad, and my dad was a lawyer, and he had a lawsuit that went on for 15 years that he was repping somebody on, and I would work for him as a receptionist during the summer, and I'm like, here we go again. I'm like, it's still not in court.
So the lawsuits we're talking about have been suing these AI companies about the fact that people had their materials taken, and they're actually starting to win some of the lawsuits. However, the lawsuits have to then be superseded by other lawsuits, and so it's going to be like another 5 years before there's an actual answer to this. But at the end of the day, the humans are actually winning the lawsuits. Now, what does that mean? Because it takes so long. By the time any of this stuff gets resolved, guess what? ChatGPT and Claude and all the rest will have evolved to the point where they'll be all around us regardless, right?
Yes.
They'll be like suing Microsoft or suing Apple. Good luck.
And that's the thing is that when a lot of these lawsuits get to court, and the one that I, because when I was working for my dad, or maybe this was another one, there were several, some of the witnesses were dead because it had been 10 years. And that's the thing is that some of these are in, how do I say it? They're in court for so long that in 10 years, a lot happened. 10 years ago, I was living in New York City. 10 years ago, Josh, did you have that beard?
Yes.
Okay. Well, okay. So that didn't change. 10 years ago, even, were you living in London?
I was, but I only lasted a year at that point.
But my point is, maybe not a lot changes, but stuff changes, like,
it does.
Did you guys have different girlfriends or wives 10 years ago, or?
No, I had a different husband.
Different husband. So there you go. You had a different husband.
I didn't.
Okay, so you still have the same husband.
I still have the same husband. Of the new husband.
So new husband. See, some stuff changes, and I'm sure your husband's like.
Some stuff does change.
Yeah, and I'm sure, are you, but that's the thing is that these lawsuits, by the time they're resolved, like Josh said, and also the technology's different. I mean, a lot changing.
I think what I find interesting is that, unfortunately, these people the artists who are fighting these AI softwares and such, are putting all of their money and all of their time and effort into it. So it's kind of like their win is such a long journey in order to potentially get a win. And when they're up against such a vast wall, I can't imagine that being a very glamorous journey for them.
Yeah.
Well, as I say, it's kind of like, imagine winning a lawsuit against Apple. Even when you you're not really going to win because it's not like you're going to take down Apple.
Yeah.
No.
But we're assuming that they get faced with this, and that's why they have legal teams, that they just, they quench it and they just get rid of it. And that's kind of the last thing they want is the bad press.
They have insurance, whatever. But one of the things is that if you're an artist fighting, and say you're a mid-level artist, you're paying lawyers, you're hemorrhaging money. And by the time you get the settlement, you're breaking even. It's not like you've won a lot of money. And that's what people don't understand about class action lawsuits. And having worked for a lawyer, the first thing I would tell people is do anything but sue, because you're not going to get the money you think you are,
Yeah.
Well, these are lawsuits that aren't being done by individuals. These are group suits. And it's actually mostly nonprofit organizations that are organizing it, because no artist, no actual working artist can afford to sue any of these companies.
No.
Right? And so it gets rolled into these attempts to basically say, well, look, you've stolen from tens of thousands of artists, whether it's music, video, the written word, doesn't matter. And so then the issue becomes, well, okay, what's the resolution of this? Let's say they keep winning the lawsuits. Great. What's growing the whole time? The power of these companies, right?
Yeah, or the technology, exactly. And also, if you're in a group suit, and that's the other thing, do they have group suits in the UK?
I said, like suits that are organizational led, probably, yeah. But it just depends on the situation as well. It's not black and white.
Okay, because a lot of group suits here, you might be lucky if you get maybe like a few cents, a few dollars, whatever. Like you don't get a ton of money, like, in a group suit. You might get $5,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Well, it's always going to be a fight.
Well, because when I was a kid, my family was accidentally involved in a group lawsuit against a water company because where did you grow up, Josh?
I grew up on the East Coast in Jersey.
Jersey, okay. Well, if you know anything about Pittsburgh, Jersey, whatever, there's a lot of dumping, a lot of toxic waste. And I know that I'm circling the airplane, but bear with me. The water was poisoned, and there was a lawsuit against the water company because of the waste and pollution. My family got a $5 check in the mail. It's like, okay. But we were one of like a few hundred families, in the lawsuit.
Yeah. That's just the way I suppose it goes sometimes. And then the only thing is that it's caused you is heartache and lots of time. So sometimes
it's exactly.
Yeah. Anywho.
Keep it light. Keep it light.
We're keeping it light. We're going to the next story, Josh. Head on over.
Off we go to Rhode Island, where apparently a few years ago at the Bedford Whaling Museum, someone left a 1-star review that said, "This is the worst aquarium ever."
Okay.
The worst aquarium ever?
It's a whaling museum. It's a whaling museum, right? And so there's no aquarium. The museum decided to turn this into a positive and started putting it on all of their tchotchkes, right? On T-shirts, on hoodies and things. These have now become in-demand items. People literally have shown up simply to buy one of these shirts. And apparently this is not the first time that people have turned this, something negative like this, into this kind of virality. And so it's inversion. It's a kind of marketing jujitsu. Take something that is so simply ridiculous and then make it your absolute focal point.
Go on. No, I remember when the Book of Mormon, the musical, came out first on Broadway, and the reviewers absolutely annihilated it. It was saying it was the worst thing ever. They couldn't believe this was on a stage and what they were saying and how they were talking so blasphemous and all of that. And then all they did was they put the quotes around the theatre, like saying, "Worst show ever. 1 star," and it made such a hype, and it's still on the stage 15 years later. But I think that reminded me of this story. It was kind of like, we're looking at a skeleton of a whale, and like this is supposed to be the most amazing thing to come and see ever. And they're classifying it as an aquarium when potentially it should be Jurassic Park, the sort of experience of skeletons.
Well, I have somebody who wants to weigh in. Mae Wilson, what do you have to say? Why, hello, fellas. Eamon, would you like to be my shamrock?
Absolutely.
Yes, would you like to be my lucky charm?
What do you think? What do you think about the worst museum ever?
Well, like, I don't think that it's the worst museum ever. I think that it's the best museum ever. Okay. It's not an aquarium. So, like, I can walk easily. And, and P.S., the name of Leo Penis is a dork. Okay. So when I call somebody a dork there, I totally mean it. Don't you agree, Josh?
100%. Although they now have an aquarium.
You know what? That's really good because you know what happens in an aquarium, right?
No.
I imagine swimming.
Lots and lots of swimming, you're correct.
Not in this one, though. In this one, it's just an exhibition of bones. And do you know what happens with bones?
I know what happens with bones. Did you say bones, Elin?
I did.
You know, when I look at you guys, I think of bones. May, what are you talking about? April, it was like a total sex joke, and you made it. Okay, so May, have you ever been to Rhode Island? Yes, I have. Okay, this guy totally tried to cook me up in Warwick. All right, he was a townie. He offered to take me to his apartment and take me nowhere.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yes, he said, right now you're wearing Fruit of the Loom, but I can get you into Victoria's Secret.
Okay, well that's great, May. So Josh, tell us where is this going? What is happening with this story?
I have no idea.
I wish I did too. And I guess, but you have to understand Rhode Island to understand what May just said, I guess. But what do you think, Josh? What do you think? What do you both think of the aquarium? Enough about us. What do you think?
What I thought was interesting was taking something that was right. The original review was so bizarre in the first place, right? It's like the review for Book of Mormon is like worst romance story ever, right? Like,
yeah.
Nothing to do with what's going on here whatsoever. And then making that the positive. And that's, I think, what actually catches people's interest.
Yeah,
right?
I agree. I agree.
You're not expecting it. And because of that, it's not just you're turning the negative into a positive. It's that the negative itself isn't really a negative because it's not a negative that applies to you, right? Like, we're a fucking whaling museum. What were you expecting to have happen here? You were going to see a bunch of fucking like whales? Like, it's
you know what I wanted to see at the Whaling Museum? Moby Dick.
Well, that tea is spilled.
May, be nice. That's actually
be nice, May. Be nice, May. Be nice.
That's actually my favorite. One of my favorite books. I'm a bit of a dork. Is I like The Great White. I like Moby Dick. Fun fact about Moby Dick: he's a sperm whale.
Oh. Okay.
May, do you have anything to ask these guys before you go? Yes. Are you guys wealthy? I need a sugar daddy.
No money here. We're artists.
You know what? This conversation is so over. Goodbye.
Goodbye,
everybody.
Goodbye, May.
The next story is totally continuing on in that vein.
Okay.
So there's this artist. Her name is Emma Shapiro.
Right.
Account on Instagram that was called Nip People, meaning nipple, but people. Nip People.
Nip People. Okay.
Look, her thing is she takes pictures of people's nipples and that's what she puts up, right? Mm-hmm. And this was her practice. Huh. So these are stickers. So she had done a video of a whole bunch of these stickers on like a light pole or something, and she posted a video. Meta then suspended her and killed the account. And the problem is, right, if you are a social media based artist, if what you do essentially is just pure propagation, when you get suspended like this, your archive now has disappeared because guess what? By one click of a button, you're gone.
You're white.
So she's suing them. She's suing them and saying, look, it's not okay to do this to artists. Even if you don't like what we're putting up, which just doesn't really make sense here because it's nipples, but regardless of your community standards, if you do this to an artist, you're essentially killing their ability to be an artist. And so that's what she's suing about. And obviously the case hasn't been resolved yet, but it's an interesting one where it's not so much about censorship per se, it's literally about the killing of a career, because we were talking about before the show, April there was a traffic accident. And so you have to wait until the one road is finally unblocked, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. If you're doing virality today as an artist and you get blocked by one of only a couple companies, you're up the creek with no paddle, because there's no way to propagate yourself otherwise.
Yeah. And also, and here's the thing, people talk about morality and censorship. You guys are a little better about it in Europe, but in the United States, we're all about morality. It's a little ridiculous. But what people don't understand is if you don't like it, don't click there. Don't look, keep going.
Well, ironically, she's suing because she's in Europe and is using European laws about how.
Oh, I thought she was in the United States. I'm sorry.
No. She's a U.S. artist, but also lives in Europe. And so she's using the laws that come out of the EU, which are very different from the ones in the United States, about how companies are supposed to handle people's data. And so what she's saying is, you can't disappear my data down a black hole like this. You have to make it available in some kind of way. And that's the focus of her lawsuit.
But I think Meta and other social platforms, they have a sensitivity filter that they put on posts that they feel are irrelevant or not irrelevant, irreverent. And I think
would be offensive to the people who voluntarily wouldn't want to see it.
Yeah. And I suppose, in fairness, not sticking up for Met or anything, but there's, you see a nipple, you instantly think, okay, this is potentially pornographic. So they're going to protect younger viewers and people who are more vulnerable from looking at this material, until they would state otherwise that it is, something from an artist or not. So, that's probably where that probably stemmed from. No, why are you laughing at me?
Because when you put it like that, it sounds so stupid. Not what you're not being stupid, right? It's that these community policies are stupid. They
are. They are. And actually,
everybody has two nipples. Unless
I have somebody that's been affected by some of these community policies with me, Mr. Donald J. Trump.
Oh, dear.
He's been flagged. So, President Trump, what do you want to say? Well, my love for the nipple is huge. I know it is. And so, what do you want to say to Emma Shapiro? I think that you need to grab this lawsuit by the pussy. So, President Trump, why do you think you're qualified to be president? Well, April, I'm master of everything. I have billions and billions of dollars, and I was host of my own reality TV show and president of my own university. Trump University, you were sued for fraud. Shut up, April. We have a AAA rating. The Better Business Bureau gave you a AAA rating? No, a triple K rating. KKK.
Oh, dear.
So President Trump, what do you have to say about censorship? They're always trying to censor me. I'm grabbing people by the pussy. I'm saying what I want to say. I'm making my jokes. They're trying to shut me down. Emma, be strong. Show the nipples. A man can dream. Wait, but you have a wife. You shouldn't be dreaming about this. Well, melancholia hasn't been out in a while. I'm looking for a new wife. But you have a wife. Yes, I know, but you always need the newest, hottest foreign import. Emma, I'm available. Come get
Well done. Well done.
President Trump is being, yes, yeah.
President Trump has said his said.
Yes, but in all seriousness, though, my videos with him have been flagged. They've been taken down for community standards when it's been satire. So that's the point of that demonstration. Yeah.
It gets back to the issue that, it's kind of like in the physical world, when you go into a building that somebody owns that building and that owner sets the rules of what happens, right? But there's lots of buildings.
Yeah.
The problem with social media is there's essentially 4 buildings or 5 buildings or whatever, however, right? There's not a lot of buildings I can go to, right? And so at the point that it starts to be used for community purposes, and those community purposes overlap into, say, First Amendment issues.
Yep.
It causes a lot of problems. And I don't know that it can be resolved other than, let's say, nationalizing Meta. I don't really want that either. I don't want a national social media thing, right? That's not That's not good either. So
No.
I don't know what the answer is.
I don't know what the answer is, but the debate's not new. And the reason I brought Donnie out, Donald J. Trump, my buddy, is whenever I would put up videos with him, they would be taken down, tagged. My account was, I got an account suspended partially because of it. It was muted, because I made a joke with him about, back when there was Corona, it was misinformation. It was a joke, right? It wasn't misinformation. It was satire.
It's
then,
yeah.
yes. Yeah. Then another time, I got my video taken down, and the reason he's Tramp is Trump trademarked his name. So stuff gets tagged for all sorts of stupid reasons, and I think this lawsuit is good because artists, she photographs nipples, okay, but people are losing accounts for so much less.
Yeah.
So I think that this is going to be a bigger victory. And I wish Emma all the support in her lawsuit. She has my support for what it's worth. We love you, Emma. And I hope you kick ass.
Excellent. Nice end to that story.
Well put. Continuing on with our theme of resistance.
Yes.
There are a group of typesetters put together a free font, and it's now out in the world. And when you use it, it makes it impossible for your information to be scraped by AI.
Oh, nice.
It literally changes what the AI sees when it goes to read the text. And I thought that was incredibly interesting. And obviously it's free, which means it's propagating at the speed of light, literally. And obviously the AI will then develop a way of seeing this font, which will then spur creation of another font, right? And there will be an arms race, as we're talking about. But just as with the Terminator, going back to the very first story, the humans will rise from the rubble and fight back against the machines. Screw you, clankers.
Screw you, indeed. I feel like this is, as you said, I don't know if I picked this up wrong, but you suggested that potentially AI are just going to learn what this font is and be able to overcome what its learning will be.
This is the second font in a series. The first one vibrated.
Oh, wow.
But it learned to read the vibration. So then they try. Now this does substitution. It looks like human eyes, but looks a different way to machine eyes.
So when you're writing it, how does it function? How does it operate? How do you make it?
You write it by hand. You type your whole thing up, right? And then what the human eye sees is different than what the scraper sees. Somehow, literally, it changes the words so that you cannot. What you see as a human is not what the machine will see. Essentially,
that's so clever.
That is very clever, actually,
But remember the game of kids? Remember the hand stacking game when you?
Oh yeah! Oh my God! How could I forget? Did you ever play? I played that. Did you ever play that, Eamon?
No, I'm showing my age now.
How old are you?
I wasn't very. I'm 34, but I wasn't very. I wasn't very well liked or loved in the playground. I just stay in the corner and I'd read my book or I'd draw my pictures. That's all I'm.
Well, I like you. I would have been your friend.
So anyhow, there's this game that most people play where you stack the hands because it's infinite, right? And so the point is, okay, the AI is scraping. We come up with the first font. The AI comes up with a response. We come up with the next.
Okay. Yes. So it's just unending.
We don't give up. Damn.
We are persistent. If there's anything we've learned about this episode of Spill the RT, we are persistent.
See, we are persistent.
I told you there was a theme. I told you I planned this.
You're so good. You're so good at having that nice little thread line going through it.
You are, man.
Excellent work, Josh. Excellent work. He loves a little pat on the back.
He does. He does.
I'm sending you kudos.
Just not from Donald J. Trump.
Just not from Donald J. Trump. It's fine. He's gone home. He's gone home. He's fine.
And actually, Donald J. Trump, believe it or not, he has been kicked. He's been punched. And when I went to Milwaukee, just a fun fact, for March on the RNC, he had a bodyguard. Not me. My puppet had a bodyguard. So when people ask my mom, is April famous? She's like, April doesn't have a bodyguard, but her puppet does.
Oh, is her bodyguard another puppet?
I love
actually, the bodyguard's real. He was a beefy former undercover guy for the Milwaukee Police Department, very handsome. So yeah, the puppet's bodyguard was good looking.
I love a natural segue. Why don't you tell us about you, April?
Yes, absolutely. So we take it that you do puppeteering. You're not a tranquilitist. Oh my God.
Ventriloquist.
Ventriloquist. That's the word, not a tranquilitist. Over to you, April. You speak.
Okay, well, I am a ventriloquist,
Yes,
and we're talking about me now, right?
we are.
Which is sometimes my favorite subject when it's good. Okay, when it's not good, I don't want to talk about me. So I'm a ventriloquist. I am based in fabulous Las Vegas. You might know me as that puppet girl from My Strange Addiction. I really did leave my fiance for my puppets. So when your husband asks what you did at work today, you can say that you met a crazy woman. And Josh, if your wife or girlfriend asks, you can say that you met a crazy woman. But I have a new book out because, as Josh will tell you, America turned 250 years old, where you are, Eamon, is much older. So anyway, but you're the older, wiser, better looking cousin. But anyway, we turned 250 years old. And my book, 250 Years of American Ventriloquism, How Ventriloquism Influenced American Culture, is now available wherever books are sold. And Bookington, what do you have to say? I have to say that I have a 900 number because that's where I am in Dewey Decimal. When I'm around things talk.
When you're, of course. So when did you write this book?
I actually wrote this book. I started on it in January, but I had been doing the research for years because you don't research 250 years of American ventriloquism in a weekend, you know?
And how has that influenced your practice as a ventriloquist?
Well, I realized that I am part of a much larger story. I'm lucky to be a footnote. And the ventriloquism has always influenced American culture, whether it's entertainment, the medicine shows, vaudeville, radio, television, social media, but it's also been the cornerstone of every movement, whether it's LGBTQ rights, women's rights, civil rights with Willie Tyler and Laugh-In, Sherry Lewis, who was a girl boss, but also Wayland and Madam. And Wayland and Madam are a huge inspiration for me, can tell. And it's just, that ventriloquism has always been it's always been there.
Amazing. So we'll put a link to that book in our descriptions below so people can get it. But tell us about your ventriloquist life. What do you do live events? Are you still doing live events? What's the crack?
I am. I'm doing live events, but I also have a program to go with the book called Hidden Voices, 250 Years of American Ventriloquism.
Okay.
And I will be performing it at museums, libraries, performing arts schools, and I will also be trying to make people laugh at comedy clubs, theaters, and private events. That's the goal.
Cool. Very good. You've made us laugh, that's for sure.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's always the goal.
The reason ventriloquism's been around so long is it's tied to our political culture, right? It's a way of doing satire and also political protest because of the separation between the puppet and the puppeteer.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, because puppets can get away with everything. And that's always been the thing, is puppets can get away with anything. And it's also carved a place for people who wouldn't ordinarily have one. And what a lot of people don't realize is that America's first headlining ventriloquist magic superstar was a man by the name of Richard Potter, who was Black. And Richard Potter performed in 1820s, 1810s, and he toured the American South. And Eamon, you might not know this, Josh, you do. Slavery wasn't outlawed in the United States until 1865.
Okay.
And Richard Potter is buried in Andover, New Hampshire, and he was the basis for Samuel Peyton, who was Peyton Place. It's a very old soap opera. Josh, you might know it. You're kind of young. I don't know if you would, Eamon.
No, I don't. But that's okay. I'm learning.
It was before 90210 Melrose Place.
Don't watch that either. So I'm okay. I know.
I'm really aging myself. You don't
No, no,
remember
no.
John
It's
Martin?
I do remember 90210 being a thing. I just never watched it.
Okay, well, it was
Yeah.
before all that, and Josh
Okay.
might remember. Yeah, your grandmother may have watched it, Josh. But he was the basis for the character of Samuel Peyton. But, this was a black performer touring, again, the American South in the 1820s, and there there was slavery. It was literally unheard of. And then, of course, before we had social media stars and viral stars, Edgar Bergen, a ventriloquist from the 1830s, had a show with his sidekick, Charlie McCarthy. Charlie McCarthy was a puppet. Charlie got fan mail. People thought Charlie was real because they were on the radio.
Oh
No
wow.
one knew that Charlie was a puppet. He got fan mail. He was a celebrity. So ventriloquists, now with the second banana, whether it's morning television, radio, Edgar and Charlie paved the way for that.
Cool. Okay. Amazing. Well, like I mean, I remember as a kid watching Punch and Judy
Yep.
in the UK with my cousins when I'd come over to visit them, and that was obviously all very satirical because of how they would approach different topics,
Yep.
and it just go over your head as a kid. But it was like it's quite interesting on how you can use it as a form of getting a political statement across.
Well, it's interesting because the UK does have a stronger puppetry tradition.
Oh yeah.
It only shows up at certain times of the year. It only shows up, it's generally historical based, not direct satire of today's events in the same kind of way. In the US, it's literally, no, let me make fun of someone I would not be allowed to make fun of with my own mouth. But if it's coming from my hand, guess what? I can get away with it. And it's just kind of strange.
And can you?
Oh, you can. When I was coming up as a stand-up comic, I would do a little bit of April and then I would bring May out. And this is a funny story because May literally stopped me from getting my ass kicked one show. And I was kind of just talking to the audience members and I said something that got under somebody's skin. And he said, "I'm going to kill you." And he meant it. And so May comes out and May goes, "Please excuse April. She is such a dummy." Da, 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 da. And he starts laughing. And it's like within 5 minutes, he forgot he wanted to kill me. And afterwards, he's buying me a drink, buying my merch. And I'm just this kid. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, interesting. That's really cool. You've had a great journey so far, April. It's been really exciting to learn about that. How can we learn more about you? Where do we find info about you?
Well, if you watch streaming television, my episode of My Strange Addiction is on all streaming platforms. So if you want to know where it all started, there's that. But I'm on social media under April Brucker, and I have my own website, aprilbrucker.tv, and 250 Years of American Ventriloquism is available on Amazon and wherever books are sold.
Amazing. Cool. Well, we will put all those links, as you suggested, into our links below and on all of the social platforms that we are on ourselves. And we'll share and tag and all of the rest on all of our channels too. So that's great. Thank you, April. That's been amazing. We've been it's been a dream to have you on today, and a laugh to say the least. A laugh to say the least.
Top 5 episode, 100%. Love it. Fantastic.
Tell all your friends. So
I will, and I will be sharing the heck out of this. So yeah,
amazing. Well, unfortunately, that's all we have time for today because the time has just flown by. But until next week, thank you for spending tea with us, and we'll be back soon. Bye for now, folks.